Stewart Rhodes freed. What the Oath Keepers case dismissal means for January 6. Chapter 1. The shocking ruling, midnight to 1:30. Hook in a decision that has stunned the legal world and outraged many Americans. A federal judge has dismissed the January 6 sedition case against Oath Keepers founder Stewart Rhodes and his co-defendants. The ruling, handed down on August 4, 2026, vacates the convictions that had sent Rhodes to prison for 18 years. This is a development that could reshape our understanding of the January 6 investigations and raise serious questions about the future of accountability for the Capitol riot. Tonight, we are breaking down exactly what happened, why the judge made this decision, and what it means for the people involved and for the country. Chapter 2. Who is Stewart Rhodes? 1:30 to 3 o'clock. Stewart Rhodes is the founder and leader of the Oath Keepers, a far-right anti-government militia group that gained national notoriety after the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Rhodes, a former Army paratrooper, founded the group in 2009 with the stated mission of preventing what he saw as government overreach. The group's name comes from the oath that military members take to defend the Constitution, though Rhodes' interpretation of that oath has been widely criticized by legal experts and national security officials. In 2022, Rhodes became the first person to be convicted of seditious conspiracy in connection with the January 6 attack. U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta sentenced him to 18 years in prison, calling him an ongoing threat and peril to the country. The sentence was the longest handed down in the federal investigation into the Capitol riot, and it sent a powerful message that the government would hold those responsible accountable. Rhodes was joined in prison by several other Oath Keepers members, including Kelly Meggs, Kenneth Harrelson, and Thomas Caldwell. The group had been accused of planning an armed uprising against the government and conspiring to prevent the certification of the 2020 presidential election. Chapter 3. The legal basis for dismissal, 3 to 4:30. The dismissal came after a series of legal developments that fundamentally changed the landscape of the January 6 prosecutions. The key issue was the scope of the seditious conspiracy statute and whether the actions taken on January 6 met the legal threshold for sedition. Judge Amit Mehta, who had originally sentenced Rhodes, reviewed the case in light of new legal arguments and evolving interpretations of federal law. The ruling cited concerns about the breadth of the sedition charge and whether it was being applied consistently with the constitutional protections of free speech and assembly. The judge also referenced recent Supreme Court decisions that have narrowed the scope of federal conspiracy laws. Legal experts have noted that this ruling could have far-reaching implications beyond just the Rhodes case. It may affect dozens of other January 6 defendants who were convicted of similar charges, potentially leading to the dismissal or reduction of sentences across the board. Some legal scholars believe this ruling could become a landmark case in the interpretation of federal sedition law. The Department of Justice has not yet announced whether it will appeal the decision. Legal analysts say an appeal is likely, but the outcome remains uncertain given the shifting legal landscape and the current composition of the federal judiciary. Chapter 4. The broader impact, 4:30 to 6 o'clock. The dismissal of the Rhodes case has sparked intense debate across the political spectrum. Supporters of Rhodes and the Oath Keepers have celebrated the ruling as a victory for constitutional rights and a check on government overreach. They argue that the January 6 prosecutions were politically motivated and that the sedition charges were excessive and unconstitutional. Critics, however, view the ruling as a devastating blow to accountability for the January 6 attack. They point out that the violence at the Capitol resulted in injuries to over 140 police officers, destruction of property worth millions of dollars, and a fundamental attack on American democratic institutions. Many are concerned that the dismissal sends a dangerous message that those who engage in political violence may not face consequences. The ruling also comes at a politically sensitive time, with the 2026 midterm elections approaching and the January 6 investigations still a deeply divisive issue in American politics. Chapter 5. What comes next, 6 to 7:30. As the legal community processes this ruling, several critical questions remain unanswered. Will the Department of Justice appeal the decision to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals? What happens to the other January 6 defendants who were convicted on similar charges? And what does this mean for the broader investigation into the events of January 6, 2021? One thing is clear: this ruling has opened a new chapter in one of the most consequential legal cases in modern American history. The implications will be felt for years to come, and the debate over accountability, justice, and the rule of law will continue to dominate our national conversation. Whether you support or oppose the ruling, its impact on American democracy cannot be overstated. Call to action. If you want to stay informed about the latest developments in the January 6 case and other